visual person who's responsible for making the speaker be successful if they're giving a presentation to a large crowd. And I know that many of us hope to do that. And with that, I'd like to introduce Jack McKee, behind the scenes, Jack McKee.
As speakers, we might find ourselves involved in a live event situation. Maybe this live event is going to require and benefit from the use of audio visual equipment, and so I think that it would be valuable for us to have an awareness of what a proper audiovisual setup and operation might look like so that we can make sure we are on board with the production team. When I talk about AV equipment, what I mean is the combination of electronics that are used to move a signal from the performer to the production team so they can modify it into the sound or video system for the audience. I worked as an audiovisual technician during my undergrad there in the event space at San Diego State University. I set up and ran many live events, including student rock concerts, TED Talks, musical theater. And so in my experience, I found that it is extremely essential for the production staff to be on board and communicating with the performers. So today I'm going to break it down for you into 3 categories: redundancy, preparation, and technical knowledge. First is redundancy. You need to have redundancy in your setup so you can guarantee that your equipment is going to function properly. There's a chance that during the event, one of your components may fail, and so if you have redundancy in place, then you as the production staff will be able to quickly, with only minimal interruption, switch to your alternate components. Thus, you will be on your Thus, you and the performer will be on your merry way. For example, it was common at San Diego State for wireless mics to die during mid-set, and so the production team would practice redundancy by having extra fresh wireless mics there in the AV booth. And so when that would happen, quickly unmute the channel of the fresh mic, hand over the fresh mic to the presenter, and they would be able to continue as normal. So if you do not have redundancy in place, you might be leaving yourself room for error. Next is preparation. You need to be prepared so that you can guarantee that you can operate your equipment correctly. It is inevitable that at some point during the event, you will have to make adjustments on the fly and potentially troubleshoot problems on the fly, live on stage maybe even. And so you need to be prepared for these moments by practicing using the equipment for a particular setup according to that event schedule, as well as maybe what I would do was I would set up a mock event setup. I would create a mock event setup during downtime on shift, and then I would have my manager create problems so that I could get repetitions at troubleshooting those problems. And it was effective. So then during the live event, several times those problems actually happened, and now that I'm under pressure, I was calm, cool, and collected, able to make the fix. So you need to be prepared, or you might be leaving yourself room for error. Third is technical knowledge. You need to have technical knowledge so you can guarantee that the decisions you make are logical. there's these small nuances and details in your setup and operation that if you don't understand what they are, you might not be able to provide an optimal audiovisual experience. But if you do know them, then you can provide that optimal experience. For example, instead of being reactive to an instance of feedback where the performer's mic would start producing feedback, you can hear it in the speakers, and then as the audiovisual technician who is there paying attention, you would mute the mics, eliminating the feedback, turn the mics back up so the feedback is gone. But that is generally not that good practice because you are exposing the audience to a moment of sheer terror, potentially. So instead of doing this, what you should do is have a proactive approach around feedback, and it is to select a type of mic that is less likely to cause feedback for that particular setup, and then after that, during the sound check, determine what bands of frequency are going to be the problematic feedback producing bands, using your sound equipment to eliminate those bands of frequency, thus eliminating any chance of feedback. That was effective. During those events, no feedback was produced or experienced. So make sure you have technical knowledge, or you might be leaving room for error. So as speakers, we might find ourselves involved in a live event situation. Maybe it's being supported by audiovisual equipment, and so it's important that us, as potentially the performers, we be on board with the production staff. So today I talked about redundancy, preparation, and technical knowledge. So maybe for the performer, these could be some things that you think about. And if anything, now that you are aware, you can develop an appreciation for what happens behind the scenes.